when you start a business, you should decide, is your business, what's the purpose of your business? Now, originally we talked about your business starting out as just feeding the family and supporting them. But now you've evolved, and what's that business? Do you plan to sell it someday? Do you want to pass it on to your kids? Do you want to go public? There are a lot of different things, but have a plan in place. And that plan should include how you get out. There ain't a soul in the world that wants to start a business that damn near kills them. But mine did. God gave me a second chance, and I still had to come back and fix problems. What do you mean? Well, years ago, I thought I had it all. I understood. Well, I had it all. I thought I understood everything. I did it best. Blah, blah, blah. I could do it the cheapest. All that good stuff. I was building my own spec houses. And I got sick. I got really sick. Matter of fact, the doctors told my daughters and my wife that I might not wake up. And if I did wake up, I'd have brain damage. And the problem was I had all this shit up in my head. Everything. Nobody knew what to do. I didn't have the right paperwork. I didn't have the bank set up right. Nobody could pay bills. Now they finally worked it out, thank the Lord, but it was a mess. I got in a coma, went to one hospital, and woke up 2 weeks later, 200 miles away in another hospital. All kinds of tubes in me. And I mean, everything, every orifice full of something. It was hell, but not as much hell as I guess I put my family through, because I didn't know, I didn't do the right things. And on a side note, I understand why I love streaming video, because I was so tired of watching TV of the same damn commercials. So I had a lot of time to think. And I thought think about your loved one, and they told them that they weren't going to wake up. There's nothing you can do about it. And then you have to deal with their mistakes, their problems, their things that they're having to deal with. People wanting to get paid. That was a big one. What's the next step? Nobody knows. What do I do if somebody calls? And a lot of people are calling. My phone ringing all the time. And I didn't know what to tell them. So she's calling some of my other friends to see if they could make it out. And they made it all work. Don't get me wrong. But it wasn't easy. And I felt awful. I realized, sitting in that damn hospital bed, with tubes running out my nose, that I had to make a change. And it was a long road, 3 or 4 months worth of rehab, of getting my strength back and so forth. But hell, when I got back home, I still had to go fix some problems that the people I had hired didn't even do right. And that's shitty, I'm telling you. But it had to be done. I had to sell that house to make any money. And it dawned on me, well, it didn't dawn on me. It was like God slapped me upside the head, I guess. Somebody hit me and said, hey, you got to make a change. And I did. I've made a lot of changes since then. I got people who answer the phone for me, who knows what's going on. I got people that work for me that I trust. I got people that I can go to that say, hey, I pay you more than I pay everybody else because I want you to make sure it's done right, because I'm not there. My bank paperwork's right. I got lawyers involved. I got all that stuff straightened out. But the business should not break you. That's the goal. The goal, you probably started out in your business, just make sure you got paid. So you can pay your bills, buy the food, support your family. But it's evolved. It's evolved into a business. That's how it was for me. I started houses just to make a little side income. I turned it into a business. Then I got sick. But I was the only one who had the business ran. I have a coach these days, and well, I have all kinds of coaches, matter of fact. And one of them, they're getting me to do some things that I'm not used to. And I say that because it's made me think here lately and how this all works. In college, I learned a process, and I'm going to go into the 5 things I guess I've taken away from this. I learned something in college. Number one is that you got to plan your day, plan your life. That's easier said than done sometimes, but you got to have a structure. This might sound silly, but put stops in there for lunch, or you're done at 5, whatever it is, but you got to make sure that you're building this business around you. And the whole purpose is for you to become free at the end of the day to do what you need to do. Now, granted, that's not probably what it started out to be, but it needs to evolve into that, because at some point, if you're ever going to get bigger, and you might say, well, I don't want to get bigger. Well, you have to get bigger or go somewhere else, because somebody else is going to get bigger and wipe you out. So you got to stay with the times. You got to grow. That has to happen. But as you grow, you can make those things on your calendar, for example, that, I'm going to do this because it can't get me down. You can't be just exhausted all the time. You can't be worried all the time. Worry gets you down. How do you think I got sick? Number 2, and this is a feeling thing too, you got to treat people like you want to be treated. I have discussions sometimes and people say, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. If it don't feel right, then don't do it. That might be how they run their business. It don't mean how you need to run yours, because you have to be able to sleep at night. You got to know that you treated people right in your mind. And you ever realize you only got screwed when somebody said you got screwed? But if you didn't think you got screwed, everything was good. That's the mindset. I don't know how you want to do things, but if it doesn't feel right, especially if you had a job, and these are tough, and I'm sure you've had a job and the boss told you to go do something and you didn't want to because it didn't feel right. And you went ahead and did it because you knew you didn't have a job if you didn't. There's many times when I had to call a customer and tell them something as a salesman, and it wasn't right, in my opinion. It wasn't my company. Well, now I have a company. You have a company. You can do it the way you want to do it. As long as you feel like it's fair in your mind and you can sleep at night with it, that's great. Then make that happen. But I think the biggest one is, and the easiest one is, if you feel that you've treated those people like you want to be treated, then I think you've done what you need to do. Number 3, you gotta build some routines. That goes with health, food, mindset. One of my new routines lately is I got a journal. And I've talked about journaling before, but now I got somebody holding me accountable for it. And I got a journal. Well, it opens your mind up to a lot of different things. Thinking about strategies or what you're going in. I think I'm going to do another episode, probably next week, I guess. We'll do one on what I've learned. But I learned that from journaling and looking deep into where you're at and realizing that your life is made of routines and choices. And you got to make good choices. What's that mean? Well, I think it means a little bit something different to everybody. I got to lose some weight. That's a choice I got to make. Why? Because it's healthy for me. I might be able to spend more time with my children, my grandchildren, my wife. There's no reason to get sick again. But if I did, I got people in place to take care of it. Matter of fact, I guess I did get sick a couple of years ago. I had to have open heart surgery. This is after I really almost died. I guess I was walking time bomb then too. But I tell you what, it was a whole lot easier. My family sat down. We went through it the week before the surgery. They said, "What do we need to know?" And I had answers for every of them. This is who you contact. It wasn't how to do it. It was who they're going to contact. Here's who knows what's going on if something happens. And the peace of mind that they gave them actually gave me peace of mind, because I knew that everybody had an answer for what needed to happen. But build those routines around you as far as making your health better, eating better, whatever it is that you need to do. Hell, start journaling. It's helped me quite a bit. And I never thought I'd say that. I've been told to journal ever since I was in high school. But it's just not. I'm answering somebody about it. Say, did you journal? Yes, here it is. Number 4, define your success. Everybody's success is a little different. What's it mean to you? It doesn't have to be just goals or numbers or sales. It could be time, it could be family, it could be giving, whatever that is. But success to you is different to everybody else. But as long as you're happy with it, that's what's important. The business is not breaking you down and locking you up in your own little job. Now, some people call that just over broke, if you haven't heard that before. But you got to define that success, monitor it. It probably has to change at times. Mine's change all the time. I say all the time. I look at it and they talk about doing it annually. Yeah, do it annually, do it whatever. Just at least do it. Write it down. Writing it down physically, somehow the mind and the hand work together and you write that down and you're reading it at the same time. It puts it in your brain. So it's filing it back there, so it's always working. Goals are good, but your success is very important as far as going forward. And everybody has a different version of that. Lastly, you got to create a plan. What kind of plan? Well, an exit plan. An exit plan doesn't mean it's important for your business, and it's important for you to know if you need to use it. Now, just because you have an exit plan doesn't mean you got to take it, because it might change again in the future. But you got one now. It also gives you an idea what you're working for. When you start a business, you should decide, as your business, what's the purpose of your business? Now, originally we talked about your business starting out as just feeding the family and supporting them. But now you've evolved, and what's that business? Do you plan to sell it someday? Do you want to pass it on to your kids? Do you want to go public? There are a lot of different things, but have a plan in place. And that plan should include how you get out. Doesn't mean the business has to quit. It just means that we have freed you up to do the things that you want to do. Now, I want you to think about this. What if you could grow your business and have a life? It's not fantasy. It is the goal. The goal of getting out. The goal of freedom. On my pyramid of things that to do, become a hard hat and get out of that and go to CEO. Freedom's the second on the level. At the top is CEO. But you got to build your way up to that. And we want to free that. We want to have plans for that, have boundaries of success to make that happen. If that's something you want to discuss with me, in the show notes below, there's a link. I'd be happy to talk to you about your goals, your success, how we make that happen. How do you get that freedom? Click on it, 30-minute free consultation. Be happy to discuss how we can get a breakthrough in your company. That being said, I do hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you for your time. This has been the Hard Hat CEO. Bye-bye.